We now go to our third topic of this trilogy, our future. Now, it is at the same time the hardest or the easiest to prepare for, depending on your attitude. One can attempt to study all the futurists say, analyze the trends, and come up with our own, which process is most difficult. Or the second option is to just come up with one blank page, which would be easy, and to let God simply fill it up. Well, this talk will be neither. A good starting point is the quote, "We don't know what the future holds, but we know who holds the future, and that is our God." It's a quotation from Ralph Abernathy, a Baptist minister and American civil rights leader, a close friend of Martin Luther King. Indeed, this is a reassuring word for believers. So what should be our attitude or posture about the future? Just to ensure we are all on the same page, this may be a good time as any to clarify the spiritual gift of prophecy. This gift of prophecy is not foretelling or predicting the future, although there may be an element of prediction in prophecy. This gift is about sharing a strong sense of message from God that He would like the body to hear at this time. It is not about what will happen when, but an inspired message on a specific matter that seeks to impart to the body an encouragement, exhortation, conviction, admonition, correction, inspiration, or guidance. A posture for the future that we can adopt consists of faith, hope, and preparedness. For faith, we quote from Hebrews 11. To have faith is to be sure of the things we cannot, of the things we hope for, and to be certain of the things we cannot see. Hope. In an address to the 10th Annual Festival of the Social Doctrine of the Church, Pope Francis writes, "For Christians, the future has a name, and this name is hope. Hope is the virtue of a heart that does not close itself off in darkness." And thirdly, preparedness, as expressed in the parable of the virgins in Matthew 25. In this parable, you are familiar with this. Jesus emphasized the value of preparedness. The 5 wise virgins prepared and brought with them enough oil for their lamps, and thus were able to join the wedding feast when the bridegroom finally arrived. The other 5, however, did not prepare and had to buy more oil when they ran out, and thus missed the wedding feast, since the doors were closed when they came back. Brothers and sisters, with this posture, it's not enough. We cannot prepare for the future in a vacuum. We must be consciously and sharply aware and sensitive to what is known as the signs of the times, to what is happening in our environment, and marshal our strengths and resources to respond accordingly. So what do we observe around us? Now, I focus this section and the next actually to the situation here in America, where CFC USA operates, and since I've been privileged to participate in the planning session of your National Council. First observation, there is a marked decline in Christian life in American society. In his book, Catholic Laity and the Mission of the Church, author Russell Shaw writes, "In the United States and countries like it, Catholicism, like the rest of Christianity, appears to be in a long-term, continuing state of decline." And what seems to be the cause of this? Something that maybe surprised us. In his new book, A Church in Crisis, author Ralph Martin quotes John Tracy Ellis, a distinguished historian of the American Catholic Church, that the chief cause of the decline of Christian life has been the assimilation of Catholics into the mainstream of American life. How about that? Because this has brought the emphasis on the pursuit of material success and the collapse of religious morality into an aggressive and increasingly anti-Christian secular humanism. Now, this decline is also seen in the significant reduction of American Catholics who go to Mass weekly. And in addition, as Russell Shaw again writes, opinion polls routinely show that huge numbers of American Catholics either do not know what the Church teaches on many important matters or reject that teaching. What else? And contributing to the problem is the significant reduction in the number of priests in America. Matthew Kelly, in his book Rediscover Catholicism, writes, "In many modern nations, we are experiencing a great shortage of priests. The crisis is much greater than most are aware of. The situation is so dire that statistics suggest that if something does not change, 15 years from now, half of the parishes in America will not have a resident priest." Maybe this word from Saint Lucia, the last of the three children of Fatima, gives us also a glimpse of what is happening. She informed the leaders of the Church in the Vatican. The decisive battle between the Lord and the kingdom of Satan will be about marriage and the family. Right smack into what we are involved in Couples for Christ. This is confirmed by the substantial increase in divorce, by the alarming and increasing number of abortions, by the significant increase in same-sex unions, and by the aggressive and hostile attitude of the LGBTQ crowd, among others. Now, brethren, there might be many more disturbing trends that we observe right here in the Americas. But I think we get the drift. The signs of the times call for a more intensified efforts by CFC USA in evangelization and in rising in defense of the family. Last October, I was privileged to be invited to be part of the National Council planning. I shared in that planning session about how impressed I was with what is going on in CFC USA. And that with the impressive way it is strengthening itself spiritually with programs like OP4OL, ISE, GOC, etc. I believe CFC USA is ready to level up its role in the US and global CFC community. Thank you to the music ministry and Brother Tofi, who led the Praise Fest in last night's Leaders Conference, International Leaders Conference. It's just one indication. And so this is how I see the future of CFC USA. It's also my prayer and wish that CFC USA will have a strong media ministry that will maximize utilization of social media for evangelization. Hopefully, it will be able to produce and show programs that will appeal to both CFC and other lay groups. Specifically, it is hoped that it will reach those who have left the Catholic Church and provide them with some kind of spiritual life, which will hopefully encourage them to come back. CFC USA will establish an institute to form and train lay missionaries for deployment around the world. While initially attracting CFC, it will be open to other lay groups. It will be a more intensive training that will award certificates recognized anywhere. It will seek accreditation from the church. And with the continued decline in priests, more and more lay missionaries will be needed to assist the clergy in serving the church. By the way, this is also something that the mission to Europe and Africa is considering as well. CFC USA will partner and form alliances with other like-minded groups to collaborate with and hopefully produce synergy in the common effort to spread the gospel, to strengthen family life, as well as to reach out to the peripheries. There is much to be done. To conclude, as determined and led by your National Council, I hope that CFC USA will continue to keep its ears close to the ground and be in tune with the signs of the times, and in the process, be able to serve God, family, and the church to the best that it can. May God be praised, brothers and sisters. We end this talk. Thank you very much.